I'm 26 female and 7 months pregnant. The dad won't be involved, but I have a girlfriend who will be. There was no cheating. My brother is 20, and he's staying with me while he attends uni. He's heading into his final year, where he'll be writing his dissertation. I own this 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath flat with a mortgage. The deal is, while my brother stays here, Dad pays the mortgage and I cover expenses, both of which are about £500 a month. I told my brother about the baby a couple months ago. He just sort of said, okay, and had no strong reaction, good or bad. I felt it was a little overwhelming, but didn't question it. A few hours later, he asked if he can still stay here when the baby comes, and I said of course he can, and that was it. About a month after that, he asked me about my childcare plans. I outlined my fairly comprehensive plan. He said that's good because he's not helping out. I said I didn't expect him to. Then, 2 nights ago, I finished up the nursery in the spare bedroom, though the baby probably won't be in there for at least a few months after the birth. Brother asked me what the nursery at my girlfriend's place looked like, and I responded that my girlfriend doesn't have a nursery at her place. My brother asked if that meant the baby would be here every night. I said that I'm the mother. Of course the baby will be with me. My brother then went off on one, saying I should have made that clear because this is going to screw up his studies. Evidently, he thought that as I spent about half my time at my girlfriend's place pre-lockdown, this would continue, and me and the baby would also spend half our time at my girlfriend's place post-birth. I explained that as I am the birth mother, and I'm the one with enough space for the baby will be staying here every night. My brother then said that's unreasonable. He's doing his dissertation. How do I expect him to sleep with a screaming baby in the flat, function on the daily, or bring girls back to the flat? He then said that I should move out because I'm the one moving a baby in. Never mind that I literally own the flat. At this point, I told him that this is my flat, and he could either stop being a brat and leave off, or he could move out, but I'm not leaving my flat, and I'm not going to listen to him complain about free accommodation. He then told me to go duck myself and went to bed. I saw him this morning and he looked at me like he was waiting for something, but said nothing, so I kept quiet. Dad has since texted saying that my brother told him everything, and while I was in the right for most of the conversation, I lost the high ground when I called him a brat, told him to leave off, and rubbed the free accommodation in his face. And I should apologize for what I said. Am I the a-hole? If yes, I'll apologize. Info. To be clear, I made the initial down payment on my flat with money from my mom's side of my family. We're half siblings, different mothers. My monthly expenses are approximately £1,000. £500 of this is my mortgage, and £500 is food, bills, occasional maintenance, etc. Dad transfers me £500 per month to cover the cost of my brother living here, which then sits in my account until the mortgage comes out each month. My brother is not financially contributing. Dad is paying for him. I can afford to pay all of this on my own, and I did pay for it alone for over 3 years before my brother moved in. But since my brother moved in, expenses, mainly food, have gone up. So when Dad offered to contribute for as long as my brother is living with me, I accepted. Not the a-hole. He asked his pregnant sister to leave her home because a baby will affect him. That's pretty bratty. He either should stop complaining or move out. It's fine if he doesn't want to live around the newborn, but he doesn't get to tell you what to do in your own home. Not the a-hole. If it walks like a brat and talks like a brat, it's a brat. Your brother, who is living rent-free due to the generosity of you and your dad, took it upon himself to try and kick you and your baby out of your apartment. That's bratty. One caution. If you tell your brother to leave and he does, your dad may choose to stop paying your mortgage because the conditions have changed. It may be helpful to try and have another conversation without name-calling and ultimatums, as it sounds like on your current path, you might both lose out. Not the a-hole. Do not apologize at all. Also, your father seems like he enables your brother. I, 35 male, am a single father. My son is 8. Last week I had to travel a lot for work, and I was going to be busy a lot through the whole trip. I simply didn't want to drag my 8-year-old son with me through the country. I initially wanted to ask my mother to watch my son, as she usually does, but she was out of town herself, and I only have my sister, 24 female, in the city that I live in. So I left my son with my sister and her girlfriend, 30 female. I would occasionally call and check on my son through the trip, and I told him several times that he should listen to his aunt. He is a very well-behaved young man, and an absolute sweetheart. When I came back, I went over to my sister and her girlfriend's place to thank them. My sister told me that while running around in the house, my son had broken a vase. That is quite unlike my son. He's never been naughty or ran in the house before, even when he was a toddler. For the record, before my sister moved in with her girlfriend, she lived in a normal house. Her girlfriend's house is nothing short of a museum, with many expensive decorative fragile objects, and has several collections. My sister told me my son had run around the house into the table that contained the vase, and then it had fallen down and been shattered into pieces. According to my sister, he was getting ready for camping out in the garden with the two of them, which is his favorite activity. I told my sister my son is a very well-behaved boy, and he would never run inside the house, let alone break something. I asked her what he had broken, and it turned out to be an antique from Africa that cost about $900. Her girlfriend told me I shouldn't worry about replacing it. The cost is not at all considerable for her. She's quite comfortable, but would be hard for me to pay. But maybe I should have a conversation with my son, because they had explicitly asked him not to run around. I asked my son if he had broken the vase when I got home, and he told me he had nothing to do with the vase being broken, and he said my sister was the one who broke it, when she had a pretty bad fight with her girlfriend. He said they were fighting together, and that the vase broke in the heat of the argument. So I called my sister, told her what my son had told me, and called her out on using my son to get away with her bad behavior. What they did was absolutely distasteful. She told me I was not being logical at all, and that I needed to accept that my son was a kid, and had simply made a mistake while he was running to the garden instead of accusing her. I said maybe she shouldn't have lied then. She doesn't answer my text now. Am I the a-hole in this? My son is being accused of something he wouldn't do at all, so I felt the need to defend him. You're the a-hole. You think your sister and her girlfriend broke the vase during an argument, then conspired to blame your kid, but didn't ask for any form of repayment. Just asked you to speak with your 8-year-old, so they did it purely maliciously to make an 8-year-old look bad, or not even bad, just like a typical 8-year-old, to his father. That makes no sense, unless your sister and girlfriend have a long history of narcissistic or strange behavior. You've picked a totally improbable series of events over the very probable possibility that your 8-year-old was acting out a bit in a new and different environment, without his dad around. Edit. Or do you think your sister's lying to everyone? And in that case, why the "what they did was absolutely distasteful" statement? I don't really want to make a judgment here. What I want to say is this. No matter what happened, going forward, your sister should not be on the list of possible people to watch my kid. Either they have a house which is so fragile that a kid who is only low-key rambunctious got himself into trouble and broke a vase, or your sister and her wife had an argument which ended in a broken vase that your 8-year-old was present for or aware of, and that your sister and her wife then lied about. This is not a good place to leave your kid, no matter which option is true. This is not a good babysitting situation. You're the a-hole. This is standard golden child mentality. Your kid obviously broke the vase. Your sister wasn't seeking compensation, so she had no reason to lie. You're an a-hole for not believing your adult sister over a child. Kids misbehave and lie. He's 8. Of course he's running in the house. So, my 15 male. Dad died not that long ago. It'll be 6 months next week. My mom moved us out of our house because she said it hurt her too much to be there, and now we're living in this new house for 2 months now, and I hate it. Last month, my 20-year-old sister told us she's pregnant, so now her and my mom are getting ready for a baby in the house. To be honest, I'm not really excited like them, but I thought whatever. Until yesterday. My sister told me I have to get rid of my dog before the baby comes. I asked her why, and she said because dogs are bad for pregnant women and newborn babies because they carry germs and parasites. I told her that's not true. I always bathe my dog. He has all his shots, and we take him to the vet regularly. He's also been around lots of babies before, and he's super friendly to them, so he can't be a danger to her baby. My sister got mad, so she got my mom involved. She told my mom I was being a brat, and that I don't care that I'm poisoning her baby. I told my mom I didn't want to get rid of my dog. My dad bought him for me as a puppy on my 9th birthday. There's been lots of changes these months. Losing my dad, us moving, and now getting ready for a new baby. My dog is the last connection to my dad. My mom's not home much, neither is my sister, so I feel like all I have is my dog. I explained to my mom why I don't want to get rid of him. She said she understands he's important to me, but I need to stop thinking about myself and consider my baby niece or nephew. I said I don't even believe my dog is bad for my sister's pregnancy. She never liked him since Dad bought him, and I feel like she's using this to get him out of our house. My mom said she isn't going to force me to get rid of him, and she'll leave it up to me. My sister's been mad at me since, and keeps making comments about how she hopes me taking my sweet time deciding what to do won't damage her baby. They're both expecting me to do the right thing, but I don't know if I want to. Does that make me bad? Am I the a-hole because I want to keep my dog? P.S. My dog avoids my sister because she treats him bad if he's close, so it's not like he'll be all over her. Not the a-hole. Please do not get rid of the dog your dad got you. Your sister's being selfish and dramatic. The dog can't harm her child. Make sure you demonstrate that you're a good dog owner, clean up after them, take for walks, etc. Make sure they are cared for well, entertained and microchipped in case they suddenly become lost due to your sister. You've gone through significant trauma, heartbreaking loss at a young age. Your dog is your family. Millions of people across the world have dogs and kids. In fact, most dog owners have family. Put simply, it's not an issue. Your sister's being uncaring and manipulative. Don't get rid of the dog based on her lies. Not the a-hole. Your sister's being difficult for the sake of being difficult. There is no reason a dog well-behaved that's well taken care of with its shots would be any danger to a pregnant woman or a baby. Not the a-hole. Perhaps if your sister really believes dogs are bad for pregnant women, she should find a new place to live. Responsible enough to have a baby. Responsible enough to figure out her own living situation. Ha. I'm a divorced dad with 3 kids. 12 female, 7 female, 4 male. My girlfriend and I are both essential workers and come into contact with a large number of sick people on a daily basis. One of my children had a lung transplant several years ago and is immunocompromised. As such, we decided that right now it would be safer for them to stay with their mother. I make significantly more than my ex, so I bought a tablet for each of my kids, and they each have Disney+, Netflix, and Hulu. My 12-year-old also has a cell phone, which she mostly used for school. They also use their tablets to FaceTime me every once in a while. I was talking with my 12-year-old yesterday, and she mentioned that she would like to be able to use her tablet. Of course, I was confused, and I asked her what she meant by that. Apparently, her mother has been taking her tablet away from her and using it for herself. I checked my daughter's account's Netflix history, and I saw shows that she definitely wouldn't watch, i.e., House of Cards, Blacklist, The Witcher. I called her and asked her to give my daughter's tablet back. She said no, and that my daughter lost her tablet as a punishment for not doing her chores on time. I told her that was fine, but she shouldn't be using it. Then she said that I'm just trying to show off my wealth by giving the kids tablets and streaming services, and that my daughter already has a cell phone, so she doesn't need a tablet. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I'd put a password on it for just you and your daughter, maybe along with parental control so you know she couldn't get into trouble. That way, X can't manipulate the situation and take things from her to be selfish. It's not hers, it's your daughter's, and she's not entitled to it as she doesn't pay for it or the services. Not the a-hole. But let's be honest. Your ex has your 3 kids on her own full-time with no school for weeks on end. She's doing you a solid by agreeing to take them, as this is probably way outside any known custody agreement. You're clearly doing better than she is, and they're all going a bit stir-crazy. You can lock out all the tablets, or extend an olive branch. Ask her to return the tablet in exchange for your sign-in info, so she can watch on her own TV, if possible, while all of this is going down. If that idea doesn't work, then go ahead and do what you feel you need to do. You guys have to deal with each other for years to come. No reason to go scorched earth just yet. Not the a-hole. Your ex taking the tablet away as punishment is fine, but she shouldn't be using it herself. It sounds as if she took the tablet not as punishment, but because she wanted to watch it. Go into the accounts and set up parental controls to block any kind of adult content. Edit. After talking to my daughter for a bit, she says that the chores she didn't finish were not setting the table how she likes it, and not cleaning her room enough. It looked like my ex is just using whatever excuse she can to take the tablet away. Edit number 2. Okay, so I had a conversation with my ex. I never really considered that this might be stressful for her as well. We have a pretty decent co-parenting relationship, and I figured that it wouldn't be worth it to burn that down over Netflix. I never considered that maybe she was having a tough time parenting our 3 kids, plus her own 2-year-old. She told me that she really just needed the relaxation time, and admitted that it was wrong of her to take the 12-year-old's tablet away. My 12-year-old now has her tablet back. I decided that since I have a Netflix account, it wouldn't really hurt to just let her use it. My 29 female husband, 26, and I have been married for over a year. We got married during the virus and had to postpone our wedding celebration. My husband is not very romantic and did not plan anything special for our proposal. We were camping when he suggested getting married in the city hall the following autumn. Since this was low-key and nothing special, he promised to make a sweet surprise, proposal-like, for me sometime in the future. Anyway, to this day, he never did organize that surprise. The issue arose 2 days ago when his friend called and explained that he intends to propose to his girlfriend in the city we reside. He invited us to go out with them and make some cute videos and photos of the proposal. Initially, I was happy to help, until my husband started planning a big over-the-top proposal for his friend. I started feeling disappointed that he did not put this much effort into proposing to me, and I immediately explained to him how I felt. He claims there was just not a right moment, and says I am the a-hole for not helping him organize this big thing. So I'm asking you, am I the a-hole for not helping organize a perfect proposal for his friend? Not the a-hole, but I also want to direct your attention to the absolute basement bar you set for yourself when finding a husband. He is perfectly capable and happy to be romantic, just not with you. You don't rate high enough on his scale of people to get this sort of treatment. Not the a-hole. Your husband is inconsiderate, and it's alarming that he didn't put that effort into his proposal for you, but is calling you an a-hole immediately when you tell him how it makes you feel. Not the a-hole. I see the jealousy here, but it's valid. Why is he so willing to go above and beyond for a friend, but not able to do the bare minimum for the person he loves? Does he have trouble expressing emotions, maybe?